Melanin said the busy builder is now live, streaming miniatures.
Okay, here we go again. Any other technical difficulties we'd like to take care of? I'm gonna need to order more lacquer thinner next week. I am out. Hello. Is that what that translates to? Welcome to the channel. How are you? I guess I could have looked to see if I had medium gray in the airline, but that's alright. I'll work with what I got. There we go. Set you down there.
At Almanac said it's quiet. Too quiet. I've got a bad feeling about this.
Why do you say that? And what do you mean quiet? Just not a lot of people here? It's Friday. I don't expect a lot. To be quite honest, it's Friday. We'd have one other person watching.
At Almanac said nothing is happening in chat.
It's alright, it happens. I mean, it's not like I'm the Running Man's or I'm some other more popular streamer. I'm just me. I am content with my mediocrity.
At Almanac, that's the Running Man.
The guy who plays DayZ, that's all he does. And he makes 10 times more than me in a month just from doing that, so I wish I could do that. Hell, if I had I would need about 3,000 currently active subs on Twitch to be comfortable. I could do it with 2. But I don't expect that to happen at all. No, that is a Tau crisis suit pilot who is injured. It's a pin-up from Warhammer. Gonna paint it soon. I do have the video game version of Kusanagi to print out on the Fuchikoma. I'm getting all kinds of shaky today, ain't I? Like I said, today's been weird.
An almanac, but she reminds me a lot of the original manga character design.
That's the one they used in the game and the upcoming new series.
An almanac, player. What happened?
No, nothing bad happened, just having some gut troubles and just a really slow start to the day because of it. Would have been on earlier, but I didn't want to have to stop every 10 minutes to go, oh, sorry, gotta hit the toilet. Basically, the coffee worked a little too well this morning. No, we're past that now. Yeah, we're pretty good now. Better than tea-based turbulence. At least coffee gets the job done efficiently and relatively quickly. There we go, that's a good enough start for that. Make sure I've got all my shadow areas mostly. Guess I really won't be able to see the difference until I start highlighting. But I know I've got most of the shadows. Okay. Let that set for another few. We'll get shoes. Where's the other arm? Oh, it's on her. Need to get the base lighter gray on that. But it's okay if nobody comes in today. I'll just make the stream a little shorter and we'll push on to the next day. What company do you work for, if you're able to say? Lockheed Martin, gotcha. But I bet current events are probably having a large impact on how a lot of companies are doing shit. Weird, because I've got to do a lot of pre-painting before assembly, but I'm also going to be doing a lot of painting after assembly because of how certain things fit together. Like, I can put the lower legs of Newt onto here, right? Come on. Ah, BAE. But I can't put this arm on, even though it holds there, because if it's fully on, I can't get the torso in. Not easily. And it won't sit fully because I need to be able to adjust this still. But before I do that, I've got to paint the head because I have to put the head on, because once this is in place, I can't get the head in. And this is just to be able to take care of gaps and seams, so... My first attempt at this, I printed off in 1/3 scale, and it decided to gravity check the floor. And I tried repairing it, but it wasn't worth the effort. Yeah, this is all stuff I could have done off stream, but this week I didn't do much of anything model-wise. I worked on this guy. That was it. This is all I've done since the last stream, is I got him to this point. He's not even finished yet. I've just been not tired, but my head's been other places. Hey Ardav, how you doing? I'm trying. So yeah, like the post said earlier, we'll stream today, work tomorrow and Sunday, then I'm off Monday. So Monday, Friday next week will be my next regular streaming days. Hey George, how you doing? I got a couple little tricks I want to try in the facehugger in terms of getting that slimy look going from the finger to the egg, using stretch sprue and clear part cement. Who, me? Yeah, I'm pretty clueless. I know you weren't talking about me, I'm just saying. Alright, can I grab onto the nub without shooting the shoe halfway across the room? Apparently I can. Okay. I prefer that one more. And thanks for coming and hanging out. I know there's probably far better things y'all could be doing on your Friday evenings, so I appreciate it. Okay. So I've got a mix of 50-50 white and light ghost gray. This is what I use for the basing on most of my white. And in terms of like clothing, something that's got to have wrinkles. Because this allows me to have the room to work up to white as the highlight and go a little bit deeper as far as gray for the shadows. It's been a while since I've used it, so I gotta shake it up really well. That's alright. It's nice to know I'm Red Dwarf to his Star Trek, so... I gotta look into lowering my pressure. I ordered something earlier this week. I found it for $17 on eBay, so I figured, why not? Gonna do a nice little companion to go with the M60. Same era, same area, everything. An original M2 Bradley with full interior. Not the A1 with all the slab-sided armor and all that from Desert Shield. But the original, rounded, you know... Yeah, I printed these on my printer. God, I haven't bought a print since 2019. Because usually if you can find them for sale on eBay or Etsy, they're out there officially through the original creator for a lot cheaper. And if you have access to a printer, the world is your oyster. I'd love to get a pair of these shoes. They re-release them every now and again. Resin. I have an FDM printer, just never figured out how to use it. It was given to me with a bunch of filament rolls. I'll figure it out one day. Right now is not the day, though. I don't have the room to set it up either, really. If I was more stay-at-home, I'd be able to manage using it a lot better. Something that heats up like that, I do not want to leave unattended. Even if my wife's home, she works upstairs. If something were to happen, she wouldn't know until it was too late. You know? Nope. I print everything at 0.5 unless I feel a need to otherwise resize it as far as the layer height. But yeah, everything's printed at 0.05. And here, hold on. So yeah, I think my prints are pretty clean. Plus the orientation has a lot to do with it. Let me readjust my focus depth here. There. So like if you're printing this, I have the Elegoo Saturn II first gen. So like if you're printing this, and this is where the print ends, you'll get layer lines that look like wood grain on the knees, where any round parts are. But on this one I printed it angled like that, so all my layers are like this through the figure. I've got anti-aliasing turned on too. A bunch of little settings, adjustments here and there. Once they're done, you can set it and forget it, basically. Every now and again I'll have something that gives me a little trouble, but not usually. And filament you can get some pretty good results on. The trick with that is, like say you're doing a figure like this, you would have to go larger. Hey Steven, how you doing? If you were doing this figure in filament, you'd have to go larger, just so you can get the detail that's in it. I've seen people set their layer height at 0.2 on that, and get some amazing results. Once I break the filament printer out though, chances are I'll probably use that to print off some RC tank hulls and parts. Nothing too detailed that I can save for the resin side. Another thing that's had me down is the weather's been changing left and right around here. The other day it was almost 70. The next day it started getting up there. It was in mid 50s. Then a front came through that had it down in the 30s before sunset. Then the next day it's back up to the 70s. Tomorrow we're supposed to have rain. So. Okay, so here we're going to give this a slathering of the acrylic black wash. Just on where I painted the gray. This will just deepen the tone a little bit more where I want it, not making it like black, but definitely that dark industrial gray that it was. Then I can dry brush it back up, pop out the great texture, then paint in the egg colors. Oh, you mean this little guy? Yeah, I didn't really feel like doing much in the way of military figures today. And I think everybody else is kind of getting tired of them too. At least for the time being. At least I think my layer height's still set to 0.5. I may have thinned it out to do clear resin and never reset it. Is it Canada or is it Canadidia? Or Kanakistan? Or does that depend on where you live? I don't know anymore. Alright, so we're going to go back in with the base color and just working our way down like that. Get the highlights back in, then we'll lighten the base color up for the speculars. It's not going to exactly be dry brushing, but it'll be something akin to it. I've always just called it overbrushing.
At the model student 20 said I was in my bare feet walking the dog on Wednesday today. We have 3 inches of snow here in Canada. Did we do that?
But you see how it's hitting all the high spots where I airbrushed in the gunship gray as the shadow color. It's bringing all those highlights back out.
At Almanac said face with tears of joy emoji, face with tears of joy emoji.
Yeah, that must have been a countrywide snow thing, because my family and my wife's family in Washington just got 3 inches as well. We're expecting just to get rain. It has been nice to be able to open the windows the past few days, though. I might even mow the yard today. I don't know. Depends on how I'm feeling. I'm still feeling run down from last week. I really think I was fighting some kind of cold or something. Just some kind of fast mover.
At the model student 20 said most of this week was really nice. At Almanac said we were promised rain, but got humid gray instead.
Oh, hi, Mittens. I honestly miss those humid gray days.
At the model student 20 said all my friends are sick. I've been unscathed.
Well, don't go around your friends. You might be the one spreading it. You're the carrier if you're not the one getting sick. This is why I call it overbrushing, because it's still wet. I just don't have a lot of paint on the brush. I merely want it to get the highlights and the flatter surfaces. So you can see how it's kind of popped the shadows back down.
At Almanac asked murder movies with blessings as with its present.
He went somewhere. He came up. He came up, clawed the chair, and then wandered off. Mitt, Mitt. Here, buddy. Well, there's Frank. He's dumb as a bag of hammers. Frankie. Okay, the next shade lighter. And this is still with a very wet brush.
George Davis 7629 said coming along nicely.
I hope so. I'd originally wanted it at 2 feet tall, but like I said, that didn't print out well. Yep. I don't know who started the trend, but it's a shitty trend. And those stiff little dome top brushes, because they don't allow your brush to do this. You see how that's just getting all the highlights? The length is what's doing the work.
At Almanac said most people forget Sigourney Weaver was nominated for the Best Actress Oscar for Aliens.
Oh, I know she was. 86 was a pretty heavy year for Oscars. You had Top Gun, Aliens, God, what else was out that year? There's a lot of dramas that came out here. But I don't even know who says they're a good brush. What trend? What...
George Davis 7629 said they work, but hold a LOT of moisture. Also, the height of the brush varies way too much.
But that's what I mean is...
Model student 20 said best mid-rib. Grinning face was
No, that would have been for Alien in 79. But yeah, I've got a bunch of different... I'll even use round sables for dry brushing. It's not the type of brush... I don't know. They're either an invention or they got adopted by the miniature community. But they're too short, too stiff, and just too... They're too unforgiving. They deposit too much paint because all your bristles are contacting the surface, where you want brushes that allow... And I'll use this as a magnified version. But you want brushes that allow the brush to skate and just get the highlights, right? You don't want... Bad example, but the best I can come up with. You don't want this because it's going to go down in between each. You know? And that's what the round ones do, is they go down in. I think that's what happened, Almanacs, to be honest with you. Oh, right, Mum's throwing this out. Let's see how I can make it work. But sometimes they can be long. But there are different brushes for different uses. But you see people using this, it's like, oh, this is the only brush to use for dry brushing. No, that's just the brush you're currently using. Okay. I'm just trying to get some high highlights. Because we're going to be dirtying this up, too. If you go back and watch the movie, she was not clean at all. Her shirt was a white shirt, technically. It may as well have been light tan. And that's where the trouble comes in these days. Everybody sees this technique being foisted by certain brand names, and they're like, "Oh, that's the way to do it from now on." No, it's not. You're throwing out years of your own self-taught shit to follow the bandwagon. Are using those little brushes totally wrong? No. Them being limited to that particular use is wrong, though. Okay. We're gonna paint our little face vagina crab. That's alright, model student. At least you got me to annoy you. I mean, entertain you. Hey, Alex.
Newt and Ripley. Newt. Pugs from Denmark. Alex.
Glad to see you back. And my desk is a mess. My desk is scatterbrained as I am. And as I was saying before, this is all I've really worked on during the week. Didn't really do much with them. Still got to work on the groundwork a little bit. Not too happy with it overall. Well, I'll see if I can pull it out of my ass to fix it. Whoa, what the fuck? There we go. My audio plug just went weird. That came through my 5.1 system. Yeah, I think your rendering is taking way too long. And that just spooged out more paint than I wanted, but yeah. That's okay. I think I can afford to waste a little bit of this one.
At the model student 20 said large figures and busts are the pinnacle of paint discipline.
I'm not even that big a fan of bust figures, because if you're going through all the effort to make this amazingly detailed figure and doing half of it, do the rest of it. Give us the full attitude, give us the full figure, the full character.
Model student 20 said I think anyway. Grinning face with sweat emoji.
I don't know how many times I've had to pass on something because it's like, oh, this looks great. It's only a bust. Fuck. You know, I'm not going to print a bust of Admiral Nelson to put up on a little scone in my wall. Or sconce, whatever you want to call it. Scone is what you eat.
Hasn't heard anybody but scifi, right? So we are totally in the clear upside down face emoji winking face emoji winking face emoji.
Oh, don't tell me you spent some time with the Hug Me coat. The little padded self-help rooms. Yeah, I layered this shit on thick.
At Almanac said depends
There you go. Yeah. That was a bit much. No, the paint decided to go because the nozzle was plugged. Yar. Starburst jelly beans. I'm trying. Okay, I've got to search it again. Because if I remember right, Newt's coveralls were dark blue with light blue stripes. Almost white stripes. And then just really dirtied up. But I need to have that contrast there first. Yep. Dark blue and almost white corduroy. Looks like a tan shirt. I think this was English uniform, but I've got a new bottle of it. Oh yeah. But you even have, I have autofocus turned off. But if you look carefully, get this over here. They even have the corduroy texture. In the clothing, so that'll be real easy to pull out.
At the model, student 20 said she has to be sweaty. Very, very, very sweaty. Grinning face with sweat emoji.
There. Let me get some more music going, and we'll take our first break too. Yeah, I want to see what I can do about this sweat thing, just to get the idea of it. That's going to be difficult. Yeah, I'm going to take a break, check something out upstairs, and I'll be right back.
At the model, student 20 said she was always soaked. colors mix. Rolling on the floor laughing emoji. The model student 20 said thumbs up emoji.
Alright, I'm back. I'm just trying to remember which color I originally used on the eggs for the other two that I've gotten one night skill to kind of just keep that visual continuity. I want to say it was English uniform, and then I went in with RLM2 in different colors there. But now I'm not so sure.
At the model student 20 said I have a resin kit of a gorilla mech with a hottie pilot. Only 136, so kind of small.
Is she kind of standing with one leg up, holding on to the hatch? Or is it the other one with the big rifle and the hatch is open? I don't think it was leather brown. English uniform's too light. I'll go with mahogany and just adjust it later. Because... one moment. Where did I put her?
At Leo 287BK said that's a nifty little cowgirl you have to over.
And apparently I just sent the hatch flying. Because I hit it with my volume control. God damn it.
At the model student 20 said no, I built that one already. I paired it with the Tamayo tank truck. The one with the big gun I have as well.
There it is. Alright, give me a second to fix it now. I never really finished this one, so it's a mite dusty.
At the model student 20 said I did that same shit, I like it.
I think I might know the gorilla one you're talking about. It can be printed out as well. I'd have to find the files again, but I know where they come from.
At the model student 20 said I lost one of those bottom patch latches.
So did I. It shouldn't be too hard to recreate one from styrene. Like I said, it's very dusty. I did this many years ago. It was a fun little kit. I even put some, if you look down in there on the seat, some duct tape patches. I wish I could find the files from this, because this was originally printed to master it. Yeah, maybe I'll sculpt up a missing tooth and do a short for this. I wanted to make a base where it had something like overhanging it and water splashing down. From like a busted hose or something. So, yeah, it's a nice little model though. I was hoping it would have been 1/20th scale. But that's still the wrong color. I'm gonna go with burnt umber. I'll figure something out. It's not a priority of mine. It was on a whim purchase many moons ago. The other one I have, I think it was by Loot Factory. But there's one, it was from Loot Factory, it's called the CED. That's the one I was thinking more guerrilla-like with built-in weapons, not hands exactly. And I've seen it for sale out there for some pretty dumb prices. And don't worry, the inside will not be brown, it will be pink and red, and it will have the white stomach lining on it. The Nottingham lace, as they call it. I probably should have re-dry brushed the base before I started painting this, but that's alright. There's going to be a lot going on with the egg tendrils here. The nesting stuff. So. Part of the problem with my original one is I couldn't fit the base on my printer, so I didn't have a secure way of supporting the figure, which is most of the reason that led to its demise. But at 1/9 scale, this goes well with the Kane figure I have, and the other two aliens from Halcyon. So, in a way, it was a win. I'll probably reprint Hicks, because I sized this to the Hicks files. So I'll probably reprint him since I'm selling the tall one that you see right there. And I'll be able to reprint Vasquez the same size too. But I think after today's stream I need to do a cleanup, because my desk is just littered with brushes and paint bottles and dust and debris. And when you're working on a model, that's how accidents happen. I mean, when you leave yourself an area this big to work in, nah, that's how shit happens. That's how fuck-ups happen. Clean up your work areas, guys. I see a lot of other people talking about the stuff they do, and I look and I see their stash shelves behind them, and they're collapsing on under their own weight. One, the presentation doesn't look great, and two, that's how you lose parts, that's how kits get broken and damaged. Clean up behind yourselves, guys. And the people watching you will appreciate it too. I mean, what would you think if you came into the channel and all you saw behind me was a bunch of dusty cobweb shelves that were all at different angles with boxes full of half-finished models sitting on them? But I'm trying to give a fronting of, I'm trying to give a face, Some people don't care, but if you're really wanting to give a face, if you're wanting people to see you and like what you're doing, clean up your background. Depending on where you are. I'm not going to try replicating that. And part of that may have been for dramatic effect. I know in the Hive there wasn't. In some areas when they were running around there was. When James Cameron did his close-up foot fetish shot on Ripley, he may have added it just to help light the scene.
At Leo 2A7BK said yes. I often try to simp the eyes to see what's behind you. Super.
The rest of my room's fine, but it's in need of a cleanup.
Said in the Queen's egg chamber, I'm sure there are.
Like I said, in the close-up shot when they were walking backwards right as the egg opened, yes. And in some of the running shots as they're escaping there were, but not all the time. Time to let that dry again. Now I have to work on the knees, because I had to put drain holes there. Arnie, oh, he's having a snack. So for the shirt, though, that was just a regular old tan color.
At Almanac said I'm getting curious and looking it up on the Blu-ray.
So there's probably going to be a lot of just base painting, and then some forms of pre-assembly, and then painting after on this. You know you can just look up the clip on YouTube, right? From what I remember, the lighting changed through the floor from time to time. Kind of like the storm from the final countdown. 1 minute it's there, next minute it's not. But you also have to remember it is James Cameron's third real film. His second one that he's getting directorial credit for. So So he's still establishing his style and his continuity as well.
At Leo 287 said another fine movie. At Almanac said in the over-the-shoulder shot of the team looking down on Ripley and Newt, right after their face appeared, there is light shining up from the floor below.
Well, this is printed in solid gray resin. And I'm not about to try and OSL that shit.
At Almanac said now this have nothing to do with how you paint yours. I just had a clear memory of it.
Yeah, it was there in some shots and not in others. If you go back and look, it probably disappeared the next scene. The next camera switch, something. Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna have to pre-paint a lot of this so that way I can get it on. Because that's gonna be going like so. Like that, give or take. And then I'll have to come back and highlight and shadow. So I can do this. Sorry, I'm just having to think through how I'm doing this. Yeah, a lot of shit like that. Especially on the waist of her clothing here. You can tell where she touches the other figure that I don't have to worry too much about. Why am I using that brush? My concern is just, if I paint too much, then I'll have to handle too much, and then repaint. I really don't like that process. That should be where her hair covers that. Yeah. aside. On this, though, I have to get it all painted up first. Because this is what gets covered by her side, arms, legs, all that. I won't be able to do anything to this once I start assembly. Oh, it's even better in person. You can go to CG Trader and find it. It's, how much was it? It's not that expensive. At least it wasn't when I got it. Yeah, it's only 25 bucks. There you go.
At the Busy Builder 4071, send a link.
Thank you for the follow, Action Figure Addict. One file set I'm trying to find is a good render of Amanda Ripley from Alien Isolation. Yeah, the front here looks kind of crude. That's on purpose. I'm kind of being sloppy for a reason. but you've all seen me do it before. Sorry, I gotta adjust. A lot of what I do tends to look really ugly until the end, where I'm starting to pull it all together. I don't know, I've only really used them once, and that was on a kit designed to use them, so it didn't give me any other option. Outside of that, like, I either wind up having to paint them myself or I don't bother replacing them. I think this trend toward the 3D printed detail sets for cockpits, to me it feels like it goes a bit too far. It's like, okay, here's everything in your kit. It's all pre-painted, it's all pre-colored. You don't have to do anything now. Reading a review online, or watching a video, somebody was bitching about, they were building the Edward Harrier, which is a reissue of the Hasegawa 48 scale Harrier, and they were whinging about how difficult it was to assemble. And somebody in the comments said, yeah, we're probably a little spoiled in that people forget model building has to take a little bit of skill and finesse. Like, you see the difficulties I'm having on, you know, pre-planning where to paint on this figure. But you don't hear me bitching about the file creator or anything like that. It's just something I've got to do that, you know? I tried finding that kit. I can't find it under 100 because I just wanted to build it and say, huh, not that terrible, and go from there. But the only other experience I have with any kind of photo etch dial stuff is on the Edward Royal Class FW190. It was alright. I think he didn't pre-plan his sub-assemblies well enough, and that led to him having the fit issues he did. Like, if I was building it, knowing that I had to get the fuselage, the intake, and the nose cone to mesh, and that it could cause fit issues, I would have built the fuselage, built the nose cone, since I know those are pretty firmly aligned. If I had spotted any kind of alignment issue with that intake, I would have left it loose until I went to join all three together. Then I would have used the two together where the fuselages meet externally to mount everything up. And that goes back to my people just need something to whine about these days, George. a little bit of pre-planning could have kept that from being a problem in any case. I would have used the fuselage in the nose section to act as the alignment jig for the intake. But I'm the type that before I dive into a kit, especially one that expensive, because it's going for $100 now, the Edward edition. I think he said he got it for cheap for some reason, but before I dive into a kit that overly complicated due to the aftermarket with it, I read through those instructions 3 or 4 times. You know, I'll bring it to bed with me at night and look through it, kind of mentally preparing.
7629 said the guy didn't mean he just got rid of a perfectly fixable kit, I recall.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if I can get the Ares cockpit, engines, and landing gear to all line up and play nice with the Zacto model's intakes, nose cone, canopy, and missile rails for the trumpeter flanker, I think I could do that kit quite easily. Oh, on that BF-110? Yeah. I almost want to get the HE-219 again and build it. The big Revell one. But not right now. For one, I'll see if I can find it a little cheaper than I've been seeing it, because it's not that expensive a kit. And 2, anything that big I've really got a pre-plan for now. Okay. That's a start. I'll be able to go in with some different glazes and washes and pluck that better. And a lot of it's not going to matter after I get her all dirtied up, too. I'm going to put the base flesh tones on this arm and on the inside of this one, because I can't do shit until after I get the pulse rifle on, but I can't get that on until after she's on her legs. Yeah, because I got a seam to fill here. If you missed what I did in the face cam, there it is again. I'll have to go ask my wife if I can borrow a makeup brush. She'll probably kill me. The fuck you need that for? Okay, how many of you are down here right now? Hi, Allie. Are you here to give me troubles?
An almanac said I almost did a stick kick of my coffee when you did that.
Sorry, not sorry. Hi, Allie. What are you doing? It's just Arnie getting down to sleep somewhere else. Anytime I see somebody shilling those real specialty tools, I just kind of sigh and continue using the ones that have been working for me for 40 years now. Oh no, I'm not a professional grade mini painter unless I use them. Never said I wanted to be one. Oh no, I'm not painting red under my flesh tone first. I must be doing it the wrong way. Whatever shall I do?
An almanac said the best I saw was a special seam line scraping tool.
And even with those, your seam has to be lined up just right. So both sides of the seam have to be level. And you have to have your glue splurge just right to produce that little central rivet to take off. Without all the requirements being met of alignment and glue prep and all that, that tool is useless. You still need sandpaper and filler and all the rest if your seam's not lined up just right. I know it's a small nitpicky detail. Who thinks I should make the PDT tracker and put it on the pulse rifle? It's like now that I've seen it's not there, I kind of can't unsee it. There's one. I'll probably get a yes from model student as well.
An
No, we're not talking about the ammo counter.
What it is, but it seems like it's more work, so go for it.
We're not talking about the ammo counter. We're talking about the cylinders she taped to the pulse rifle that said the distance to Newt.
He said yes.
I don't remember her tearing it off when she was done.
Had Leo 2A7BK said it would look awesome.
I'm gonna have to watch the movie and see where she put it. I could have sworn it was taped right to the top of the pulse rifle in that sighting groove. But none of the pictures I find are clear enough to show it.
Had Almanac said ooh, the armband tracker.
Ow, 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 ow. Yeah, today's just going to be a lot of throwing down base colors again.
You knew that.
Yeah, PDT, personal data transmitter. Every colonist had one surgically implanted. If I had done this full size, it would have been about 1/6 scale. We're coming up on the next break, which is good because my knee has started locking up. But if y'all have any ideas for what you'd like to see me do next, just let me know.
Had Leo 2A7BK said, wasn't it the watch-like thing she got from Hicks? I can find you anywhere with this.
So she put that on Newt when they went to take the nap before Burke knocked over the facehugger tanks. But Hicks held up the tracker, which is a round cylinder. So I'm guessing even though the colonists had them implanted, they didn't have Newt's code to track her. Even though you think they would have been able to get that? Where did I put it? Okay, am I really that stupid? I know I didn't put it away, did I? I did not. Okay. Now I know I'm losing my shit. This is why I need to clean up my table tonight. I did put it away. What the hell? I still wish somebody would do good files for Hudson. I was hoping Couton Sculpts, since he had done Vasquez, Hicks, and yet another Ripley, would have done Hudson. So right there. And did you notice they fixed a continuity error in the Blu-ray? Go back and find the original theatrical release of Aliens, if you can. When she gets on the dropship, she pulls down a flamethrower, puts down a pulse rifle, pulls down a pulse rifle, puts down the flamethrower when she's gearing up. They fixed the continuity. No, the order, she takes the weapons down when she gets on the dropship. I know in the director's cut that they released on the quadrilogy and then henceforth on the Blu-rays, they fixed it then. I can't remember if they left it the same in the theatrical edition. Yep, we're going to take another break. I need to move around. I'll be back.
Because in the APC her headset keeps appearing and disappearing, if I remember correctly.
Alright, I'm back for a little bit more. Well, the thing I noticed in the APC is she wasn't really wearing it. Because even when they were doing their initial, like, assault on the colony, right? She had to pick it up and put it to her mouth to tell Hicks to back up and pan right when she saw the acid on the ground. I don't remember if she was wearing one during the hive assault or not. To be honest, it's been a little bit since I've watched the movie. Maybe I'll put that on tonight. Kind of get the feel back for this kit. I know, I saw you say that before. See? Like I said, I'll have to rewatch just to make sure it looks right. Actually, we really haven't heard much about eggs lately, have we? So, and the prices seem to be just fine. I wonder what all that was about. Marked safe from whatever the government wanted me to be afraid of this week. Yeah, I definitely need to clean the desk tonight. What are you talking about? Obviously, the Canadian government uses different things to scare its citizens than the American government. Have there been any maple syrup refinery bombings? That's where I remember mainly seeing it. It was on that groove in the rifle. I'm quite familiar with pulse rifles.
At the model student 20 said, Gov-inspired fear, we get a boatload here. Canadians are scared of their own shadows.
Oh, where I work, we get a regular customer through that believes in chemtrails. Oh, yes, the cheese curd supply. That's right. The potato famine, the cheese curd supply, and the gravy epidemic. I mean, there's also the fry oil supply, because you got to fry the cheese curds just right. Or not the cheese curds, the fries. You gotta cook those fries just right. But you can substitute other things like butter or bacon grease if you got it. So it's not as much of a problem as the potato supply and the cheese curd supply. Even gravy you can kind of get away with making your own if you cook the meat up right and reduce the gravy down. You know, it's got to be brown gravy though. Maybe a splash of that bourbon in there. Did I get that a bit right?
At Almanac said, well, America deep fries more garbage than our brothers up north, I think.
Nope, Scotland. That's Scotland. We do it now. The Scots did it first. If you can deep fry something, the Scots have figured out a way to do it. They have actually outpaced us for frying shit. The deep fried Mars bar originated in Scotland. It became the Snickers bar over here after we heard about it. Because I believe the Snickers bar is the US version of the UK Mars bar. The US Mars bar is a completely different animal. Do not confuse the two. I don't even think the US makes the Mars brand bar.
Number one, a sad day at Newt.
Oh, when it comes to Scotland, the US is not ashamed to be not number one at something. We'll gladly let them race cheese down hills over there.
Get THJE deep fried Mars bar at the drive-in.
Second coat on. Although some places in the US you can get the deep fried pickle, which I have not had one. I like my pickles cold and crunchy, not hot and sloppy. Actually, I'm going to need that back. Yeah. Okay, now time for dark blue.
At Almanac said the Japanese actually also have a surprising large amount of deep fried dishes.
And they've been frying even longer than us. I know one of their traditional dishes is nothing but deep fried vegetables.
At the model student 20 said, you hot pickles, no.
trying to get the clothes as close to the right colors as possible because I know they're going to shift radically when I start making them dirty. They don't even know where they're going to put them exactly yet. Even if they did, it's above my pay grade. I could care less. I'm moving out of here anyway. And we're north of the Hoover Dam, so I don't even think we get any. I don't think we get any electricity supplied through them either. It's good to see a little decentralization, though, because I was in Vegas back in '96 when it blacked out. And that was confirmed to be an attack on the West Coast. We'll see. Chances are it's what they've been testing up in Idaho pretty recently anyway. But there's a atomic power museum in Idaho. You can see the first functional, publicly used nuclear reactor up there. So when they did the 4K for Aliens, did they include the director's cut as an option, or is it just theatrical cut? Because Cameron always said the director's cut is the movie he meant to make, but was forced to cut down because of runtime. Yeah, these days, that's all you can say. It's really hard to get and stay excited about something anymore. Like, yeah, I'm still excited to try and get my Humvee, but I know it's also going to be a while off, so I've tried to ratchet back down on that before I burn myself out. But I can only get excited about things that I can control. Wherever they are, the roads were cleared, and they were moved fast. We do not fuck around with nuclear material transport here. That I can tell you. And we don't even know if the reactors themselves had rods with them. They could have just been the actual reactor vessels and not actually been fueled yet, which would be the smart thing to do if you're transporting it by air. They would be fueled on site. Anyone who thinks they were transported fueled, well, got some people to talk to about that. Hell, our planes aren't even allowed to fly nuclear weapons unless they're actually going to use them.
At the model student 20 said yes fueled on site. I watched a short vid on them really cool tech.
Well, no, the way they're talking about them, people are like, oh my god, they flew working nuclear reactors. Yeah, the vessel. You know, remember the little squares that did the dance in Chernobyl? Those get put in later. They're not on the plane. Because you had tons of people here since I live near that base they got shipped at. Oh my god, nuclear reactors, they're flying them now? Oh my god! They're not active, dumb fucks.
Had Almanac asks, but let's make them smaller, put them in more and less guarded facilities like local power stations, and let's not restrict the airspace around them.
You have no idea how the nuclear industry in America really works. You don't get onto those facilities unless they want you to.
And the model student 20 said US will rule tech for the foreseeable future, I believe. It's all fake parody.
Whether it's a reactor or a B-83 sitting in a museum, you don't get near that thing unless they want you to.
Had Almanac said remember when Doge fired all the inspectors.
There's a reason for that. They didn't fire all the inspectors. They fired redundant personnel. Yeah, the nuclear industry in the US is a completely separate entity that you do not fuck with. Especially once the power plant is in its own facility and company, like with I think it's all Con Ed now in New Jersey, but I don't think they use nuclear up there. Florida Power and Light. If you were to try to get to one of their facilities now, you wouldn't be able to. Because Florida Power and Light hires the security in cooperation with the Department of Energy. Trust me. Doge did nothing to the security of our nuclear facilities. If anything, it made it better.
Had Almanac said can't have been too redundant. They were on fire and told to report back within 2 days. At the model student 20 said the scope of the US stuff DoD though blah 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 can't get her head around how enormous these things are.
Oh, I can. But then again, my family's been involved in the nuclear industry since the 60s.
M4JOR _H4V0K said yeah a lot of what Doge thinks is already covered
But put it this way, the U.S. Air Force is more likely to fuck up with its nukes than the civilian side. And before any of you says, oh, 3 Mile Island, research what happened there first. Okay? Research before opening mouth. Any other nuclear incidents like that one that the guy got impaled to the ceiling? That was intentional. Most of the accidents within the U.S. nuclear industry have been intentionally caused by the crew manning the stations. Just like even Chernobyl, that was intentionally caused. When the reactor's set right and running right, it is probably one of the safest things around. Safe enough that the manatees gather near the cooling water outlets in the winter to stay warm. Oh, there's worse things that have happened more recently, but I can't really get into that. I think you can Google it, but look up what Barksdale did back in the early 2000s. They weren't supposed to do that. And there's public reports on it that you can read. But basically, one airman said, guys, we're not supposed to do this. They were told to shut up. And, yeah, the rest is history. But people were fired. More people were fired. And the entire system set up to keep that shit from happening was re-examined and redone. Okay. I feel like I'm spinning my wheels with this kit. I know I'm moving forward, but I have to move sideways more than forward. Is this one empty? It is. Bespoke. Well, that should happen today. Gotta get it set up for Monday's stream, right? I think we found those. The one that we haven't found is somewhere off the East Coast from when a B-52 went down back in the late 50s, early 60s. Greenland's going to be 52. Gotta remember Puerto Rico's there still. And they're further ahead in the process. You notice what's by my shoulder, Alex? Mm. We'll see. Hi, Mittens. Come on up. Hop up, boy. Mittens up. Come on. There he goes. Hey, Mitty boy. How you doing, big boy? How you doing, kitty cat? Surprised Alex hasn't said anything about the 16 scale leopard sitting next to me. And I don't mean the one that just jumped on the back of my chair. I'm going to see if I can kick up the highlight on this again, and then go back over it with another tone down. But I need another brush. No, the tank. What are you doing, Mitt? Hmm? Are you gonna get on the table? Yeah. Mittens, come here. Come on. Come on. What are you doing?
At Leo 2A7BK said I have seen it. And I am biting my table for not getting probably started on mine. Thank you so much.
Do it. Do it. What, stinky boy? What are you doing? Good boy. Yeah, get the head scritches. Get the scritches!
At Almanac said it wants to help you clear table by pushing everything forward.
Actually, he hates getting on the table. He would rather die than get on the table. Mittens, come here. Come on. Yep, he got on the floor instead. Alright, I need a deep-ish red. Not black red, but definitely not like a bright amaranth red. That'll work. What? What? Come on. Up. Come here. Come on. What a weird boy. Okay, you want... Oh, that's what you want. He wants to be in the chair with me. So he's actually warming up my lower back right now.
At Almanac said he wants attention on my turn.
Mm-hmm. He's a good boy, though. About as tame as you can get for a feral kitten. are you doing now? Hmm? Oh, what are you doing, Thumbs? Hmm? Wait a minute. Come on. What? Meow. There we go. Yeah. The only thing I can't do with him is pick him up. He's never liked being picked up. Where's my sepia wash? There it is. There we go. That gives it more of that yellowish hue that I was looking for. Then I'll go back over it with the flesh hue to bring everything back out, detail-wise. But I am getting to the point where I've got to let what I've done dry, because the paint can't take too much handling. What else can I do? Yeah, we got to save a little something for for Monday. Probably get started on those next. Do more work on the shirt. Alright, just trying to plan out Monday, because we are almost at 3 hours. Gonna cut it a little early, like I said. We're getting to a point where I gotta wait for what I've done to dry before I can continue on much more. Try and work on little things here and there, but I gotta get this cleaned up. I'm going nuts. So, thanks everybody for watching and hanging out. Thanks for all the new follows and subs on the YouTube side. And, yep, real life is beckoning. So, I will see you all on Monday. I mean, it's getting pretty good. Gonna go back over it with the flesh tones again. Okay, just give me 1 minute. But yeah, I want to get my desk cleaned up today, and then we'll go from there. So thanks again for watching. Thanks again for following. And I will see you all Monday. And hopefully I'll have a better plan, picture, whatever you want to call it, for how I want to do this.